Hello everybody. Today I want to tell you about one of the worst travel experiences that I have ever had. It was the June of 2022, I believe. More like late May actually. I booked an apartment in Montenegro. It was Herceg Novi. I booked an apartment on Airbnb for a whole month. And the lady who was the owner of that Airbnb was extremely unpleasant. My God, every time I asked her a question, she was just giving me answers that were hostile, at best just unfriendly, thoroughly conveyed this sensation that she was utterly disgusted with me from start to finish. And when I moved there, I already had a place booked with her for a whole month. And what happened next is that so I was talking on the phone at 11 o'clock, 11:30, and was talking a bit loudly. I'm originally from Russia, and I have family both in Russia and Ukraine, and of course atrocities have been happening in Ukraine at that point. The war was in its initial phases, and the next thing you know, that the police arrived, and the policeman did not even bother knocking. He just opened the door forcefully, and he started yelling at me when I was sleeping. He started yelling at me in a Serbo-Croat, or whatever the language is in Montenegro. He told me to stand up. Finally, that's the only 2 words in English that he knew. Stand up. I didn't. I just raised my hands in the air, and I just froze in silence. I had no idea what to tell him, what to talk about. And few seconds later, a young man who was apparently a neighbor showed up, and he spoke English, clear English, well enough for anybody to understand. And he was asking me if I was making trouble. I told him that I wasn't. I did not have any parties. I did not have any friends over. I was just talking on the phone a little loudly. And then policeman barged into my apartment and was about ready to arrest me for what? Now, this was a horrific experience. The next day, the same hostile lady from Montenegro told me that she wanted me to leave. I paid her, I believe it was something cheap, like $300 for a whole month. And gosh, it's like not paying at all. And she wanted me to leave immediately, so I ended up leaving. Well, I paid $300 for this apartment. She was generous enough to refund me $100. So I paid $200 to be hassled. That was my experience with Airbnb. This was the worst experience traveling that I had with Airbnb. So what's the lesson here? Just don't book places with hosts on Airbnb who do not have many reviews. If they have less than 100 reviews, just don't book with them. Book with somebody else has an established reputation. Just and if you have to, just pay a little more. There's too many rules, too many hassles, too many problems. Just book a hotel, book a place where there are no problematic landlords, where there are no intrusive people. Literally, if you're just alone in your room, in your apartment, and you have the police barging your door because you're talking on the phone, this is a joke. This is just terrible. No. I don't want anybody to go through what I've gone through.